Greetings, everybody. I have made some jot note over here. So if you see me looking over this way, just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Now, greetings to everybody. Hope you're having a blessed day. Today, we are going to talk about crime and violence in Jamaica. And the big question is who benefits? Who benefits from crime and violence? And do you think that they don't have the power or the resources or the ability to tap violence and crime in Jamaica? What causes it? What are the solutions? From what we can see and hear from the people in the country who are not equipped to deal with crime and violence due to the fact that the economy is so terrible, due to the fact that, people who are put in positions of power that are supposed to be honest and forthright and decent are also the ones committing crime and who are employing those who are less advantaged to do the same. So you got people who are in the top who are reaching down to those who are at the bottom and using them to carry out certain things because they are places that benefit from violence and crime. So if you have a business, for example, that deals with funeral, I mean, you want dead people. I mean, you're not opening a funeral home because you celebrate life. You celebrate death. It's where you make your money. So the funeral homes have no problems with seeing people dying daily. Well, let's talk about crime prevention, prison, and the threat of more prison, and the lack of funding for people in education, the lack of funding in healthcare, and the terrible showing of politicians to support those who are less advantaged so that they can, become more independent. When you have a society that doesn't push its education, and we're not talking about rote learning, I'm talking about real skills and, letting students move forward with technology and not just some who are advantaged, but those who are, in the lower socioeconomic strata, having the Igler or the domestic servant's children, find avenues outside of music to come out of that lower strata and to enter into a space where you can start help to develop and to build the country and to invest in the country. Jamaican government is not interested in people investing in the country who are from there. They're asking others outside of that space to come to Jamaica and begging them and paying them by saying you won't pay any taxes if you come here. So any John or Harry from outside of that space who happens to be the right skin color and be associated to the right people who have connections can come to Jamaica and build wealth. As I said in my past video, the tour guide took a bus full of people to a plaza where other Jamaicans were and led us into this tour with the foreigner. And she didn't do that once, she did that twice. Okay, so when we're talking about poverty and crime and violence, who's contributing to this the most? Just the ones who are from the ghetto, who are used to do these dirty things. And now you on the surface who have a meal every day, who have a change of clothes, who can afford to at least rent a decent place to live, can come with all your wonderful, religiosity and talk about these horrible beasts from the ghetto. But the thing is, the ghetto boy or girl cannot afford to buy bullets. And they can't get a barrel from custom for which they don't get dug up and charged to clear. Items with old clothes and food that sometimes people get from food bank. These persons in the ghetto cannot even clear those barrels with canned things that they don't even want. So who's causing the crime and who's supporting the crime is a better question. Now, Lisa Anna, and Lisa, I like you as a woman. As a politician, I don't make my mind about you in terms of being a politician because here's what I know before I get into addressing the situation with you in Westmoreland. When you're a politician, It's just like a doctor, just like any other profession. They enter that space with all the best intentions, and either burn out or being closed out, being shut out by your partners or your colleagues or whatever can make you realize, listen, after a while, the good person with the best intention can become corrupt. And I think that's the case with most politicians. The pressure that you come under when you seek to do good, you end up being ostracized by your own colleagues. And I think in that case, I think Lisa Hanna now have seen and learned that from all the things she tried to expose when she was on the up and on the moral high horse, she find out that you're not going to grow in politics if you keep doing this. Her own comrades showed her that you will not get to become vice president if you continue with this nonsense about exposing politicians. You cannot do that, because even if you go on the other aisle, on the side of the aisle, and you say you're exposing them, what you're essentially doing is exposing us too. These politicians are not enemies. They're friends, they're partners, and sometimes the worst kind of human travesty. So you're taught to look the other way, leave it alone. Same thing with police officers who go in there and see crime and violence and see things and have ideas about how they can fix crime in Jamaica. They're ostracized. They're sometimes, let's leave that alone for now. So even if you went in the police force with the best of intention, you're going to find out that you're going to make a lot of enemies, and you're going to either suffer death or you're going to be set up. I'm not saying this like that everywhere. I'm talking about Jamaica. Okay, so Lisa Anna has gone to Westmoreland, and I didn't realize that French people lived in Westmoreland because I heard some French, and I thought to myself, wow. Now, Lisa, I think you have joined the fold and you have said, well, let's just do these photo ops. I see you kissing babies. I see you hanging out with the old people. I see you hugging up the kids and associating with the kids. And it's photo opportunities that you have come to understand, is what the face of a good politician looks like. But the people have noticed, and we're not talking about a 5-year period, we're talking about 20, 30, 40 years. They see and understand how it works now. So you end up having the tail end or the brunt of the people's frustration because they recognize those signs. Politicians are now going to have to do different things. You're going to have to, the effort you make into trying to trick people, if you actually took half of that effort in trying to do something for your own people, it would be more beneficial. When you have leaders of government and their wives don't understand that as a woman in politics, what is your platform? Do you just walk around and look pretty and just secure a position in government so that you can be a part of the thing? Or do you use the opportunity, the power you got as a first lady, for example, to do something during your service or your tenureship or whatever the hell it is you have, or your leadership? How can a woman see violence and crime towards other women in the country, and it didn't even occur to you that you could use this? Now, you could just love politics and just love money and want to stay in power and just say, well, you know what, here's an opportunity, even let me be fake and take it on and do a little something so that the women in the country can look to me. They're so corrupt in their mind that they don't understand that the time you take taking photographs and presenting for these photo ops, you could actually be doing something. You could be reaching out to the women. Leave the children alone. Lisa Anna, with the photo taking and the hugging, and that doesn't do anything. Hugging a child, and taking picture with an old woman, or showing yourself with, some woman in the community that happens to admire you, and you're a beautiful lady and you're always strutting your stuff. You're always on the runway, even when you're in jeans and t-shirt and whatever. You're on the runway, selling beauty, and you're an intelligent person, obviously. But what are you actually doing? What did you come up with as a female to say this cannot happen? Because the thing is, you do understand that all that is happening towards the women. And I heard the Prime Minister say that he's going to come up with some new laws to protect women in domestic women dealing with domestic violence. But there's a million laws already on the book. So how does making more law prevent, these theories that you have down doesn't do nothing until they become a practical thing that your people are seeing. When you do this, this is what happens. So what I'm saying is, after a time, even if you're a politician in Jamaica, you understand that if you're coming here to make changes and to improve the lives of people, more than likely, they're not even going to pay attention to you. And your own party is going to turn against you because you're making it hard for them. So when individuals in Westmoreland was saying, you see these individuals coming around, when it's time for election, and you don't see them again, how can politicians possibly think that they could continue doing that forever? People are not dumb. The young people are more exposed. Some of them are traveling. They're having family members who are traveling who are now telling them, no, this is not how it works. Now, Lisa Anna got dissed up real bad by those people in Westmoreland, and I say good for them. Even if she is a scapegoat, and maybe what her intention is still pure, but it just looks too much like the other con artists who come there, and it's not even being a con artist. They're very disrespectful because they're thinking the people are stupid. They're thinking that these people are dumb and they don't know better. They don't know when they're being used. After a while, you carry the same bucket to the well. One of these days, the bottom will fall out. And that's what is happening. Now, there's also this issue of this coronavirus. I think there's a confirmed, don't quote me on this, but I think I hear there's a confirmed case there. And individuals are saying that they're planning to put isolation areas or try to use certain areas, ghetto, poor people area, where they want to bring individuals who might be exposed to it. Why aren't they bringing them into their communities? Why are they bringing them, far out where people don't live? These are the things that show you the attitude of the individuals who are in positions of power. They give zero about the poor people. They give zero about the kids. They don't care anything about women. Okay, now let's get into this now. The violence and crime that is in Jamaica, I am saying here, 100% with no apology can be stemmed. It's not really a problem. It's only a problem to the individuals who are not in a position to change anything. Now, if the politicians wanted violence and crime to end, it will end. When they heard on the foreign news that people should not go to Jamaica because of the violence and crime, what you have Zozo and Go and Flow, all of these things were implemented, and immediately those areas get curtained off and violence might move to somewhere else, but it's not happening here anymore. Here's another example. When Vybz Kartel was a free man, they said that Vybz Kartel was influencing the young people, and in some cases it might be, because the guy had individuals who were looking up to him and they would do anything he says, include bleaching their skin or whatever it is he would say. He is a great influencer. And so he was able to influence individuals in some ways that sometimes perhaps was not the most positive with what he was saying. But he was also saying positive things too. And he was also opening the eyes of the people and helping the ghetto people to understand the positions that they're in and how they're being used. Vybz Kartel, the dangerous man, was arrested and charged for murder. And he had many. It's almost as if, okay, make sure one of these stick. The one the lawyer said was a walkthrough, an easy walkthrough, is what that got him 35 years in prison. And they said that when Vybz Kartel got locked away, the crime and the violence in Jamaica would be different. So they found a scapegoat, okay? And Vybz Kartel became the fall guy. Now, when they said if he goes to prison, now in the history of Jamaica, and if I'm wrong, correct me, in the history of Jamaica, there have never been a case that was as long as Vybz Kartel's trial, or as thorough as Vybz Kartel's trial, or had as much I mean, when we talk about CSI kind of investigation onto Vibes Cartel's case, that's what we got. So if you didn't get him with those cell phone business, and if you didn't get him with the video evidence, you got him with the telephone, everything, four corners was surrounded. First person from Jamaica who was so careless to allow themselves to be cornered. Video evidence, telephone evidence, whatever evidence, they got it on him. When they want anybody to go to prison, the person is going to go to prison. If they want you, they're going to get you. And so if they have the ability to do that to Vibes Cartel, and I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, I'm just saying if they could do such great CSI kind of investigation and tighten up the pole and the noose around his neck so bad, where it takes a 1 year and 1.5 years to even come to an appeal decision, that tells you what they want to do, they do to who they want to do it to. There's no violence and crime problem in Jamaica. There are situations and circumstances that are allowed to occur. And you better believe it, there are individuals who are getting paid to create havoc and chaos in certain environs. So we also hear that Renita Adams is now the angel that is supposed to come and save the people. But I'm thinking Renata Adams, or whatever his name is, was accused of crimes and had to make a quick exit. And the very person, such as Lisa, and I see it on your page, Lisa Anna, saying that, you know, these are the guys who should come and solve crime. So why are you saying that only the ones who are retired or the ones who are no longer part of the force can carry this out? Why is Renata Adams able to come and do these things that is going to free Jamaica? Because it seems like you're saying the more evil you are, the better it is for you to handle this. So then how different would the police officers be if they need to be more evil and more vicious than those who are evil and vicious? It does not make sense. What I'm essentially saying in this video is that crime is allowed to take place. There are certain things in place that promotes it and benefits from it. There are individuals such as politicians who sometimes go in with the best intention, but they're going to be squeezed out. They're going to be locked up because politics is corrupt. Politics is corrupt. And if you're not prepared to go deep into corruption, you can't stay in power. That is a very sinister thing to say, isn't it? But that's what it appears to be. So you have churches as far as the eyes can see, and they're praying for divine intervention. And it's not demons. It's physical people. It's people in the physical being doing these things. And we want to talk about demons all we want. When I speak of demons, I'm not talking about some invisible structure or force or face or whatever. I'm talking about human being with demonic attitude and behavior. Anything these individuals want to fix, they fix. If anyone commits an act of terror, I guarantee you by the next day, they know who these individuals are. They get them, they lock them away. And so what I'm saying is there's no place on the planet, let alone a tiny island like Jamaica, who has all these issues that would not be. The place is way too small for all these things to happen, and people don't find out who is doing it and take actions to make sure they don't do it anymore. People are calling for the death penalty, and I'm wondering how is that going to help the situation? Because the truth is, those who get the death penalty would be the poor and the the one who's hungry, and suffering. And the true culprits, the true criminals, the true evil ones, the behind the scene, dabbing their hand in the blood of innocent people, are the ones who you look to for power. Let me clarify this. I'm not saying Lisa Anna, because I called her name, is involved in, criminal acts or promote criminal acts. What I'm saying is even if she is a scapegoat or the fall guy. What is happening in the situation with Westmoreland is that people are tired and fed up of the lies, and people understand that even when you're a politician and your intention is the best intention, if you don't fall in line with your colleagues and the individuals who control the thing, you're going to end up outside like some other politicians who get pushed out because what they're trying to do. I don't think it's possible to be a politician in Jamaica and to make strides in trying to improve the country, improve the economy, make life better. It's all talk. If you listen to some of the speeches of these leaders, they copy other foreigners and try to speak like them and talk about change. Change is like this magical word. They're not doing anything except lining their pockets and securing wealth and freedoms for themselves and their families. And those in the past who understood about building community and building strong ties and building a nation and building their own people, those people are long gone, they're dead. Marcus Garvey is not taught in school from the primary level up to tertiary level. They're not pushing the agenda to say get skills, get opportunities that are going to allow you to become independent thinkers and independent people who have your own business, entrepreneurs and whatever. Jamaican people are not encouraged to become entrepreneurs and giving these loans and encouraged to not pay taxes for 5 years because they're not building the nation. They're building themselves and promoting other people. This is not a politically correct video, and I want to end it by saying that if they want to stem the tide of crime and violence in Jamaica, it's easy, squeezy. All these people being deported from the UK and other places in the world, you know them, you can monitor them. You're talking about there's no resources to whatever, but you have money to build signs that are $7 million. You have money to, toss here and there to keep parties and to keep whatever it is you keep every year. So you can go and have a $1,000 bottle of wine and $1,000 worth of cake and all that BS. I don't pay attention to all that. I just know that people have to learn how to protect themselves, try to be safe, and try to build. And that's why I promote spirituality at its highest. And that's what I seek after. That's what I want to learn. I want to walk through that invisible door and understand what goes on the other side. Poverty ain't good. It's not a good thing, because when you're poor, you go through so much disadvantage. Now, being rich doesn't guarantee a great life, but if you have a mixture of wealth, understand how to create wealth, and then you're a deeply spiritual person, let me tell you, what a beautiful life. Stay blessed, everybody.